All right, guys, this is for you guys that want to learn how to marinate ribs, not just pork ribs, but beef ribs in particular. Everybody knows beef ribs is going to be more of a tougher meat. It's more lean than pork. So I've been doing this for a long time. And so what you want to do is you want to get a container big enough to hold. These are 2 racks. And this is probably about, I'd say 10 to 12 pounds of meat right here. And look, this is Wagyu. Okay, this is not just regular Angus, this is Wagyu. You can see the fat just marble throughout the meat. It looks so, look at that, beautiful. So what you want to do is you want to get about 5 gallons of water, fill it into a container. I'm using a cooler, and I got 2 ice packs, Ziploc in bags to keep the water, because what's going to happen is this is going to sit in this thing for about 10 hours. So you want to put the lid on this when I'm done with adding all my seasonings and all my flavors for it to marinate for 10 hours. You want to make sure these ice packs stay in here. And the reason why I put it in Ziploc bags is because I don't got to wash the ice packs. I can just take the Ziploc bags, take these out, throw the Ziploc bags in the garbage, and your ice packs are clean. So, you need garlic, which I've got plenty of garlic here. I used about probably 8 cloves of garlic. I didn't want to put it on camera, me slicing up, because it'd be boring, very boring for me slicing up 8 cloves of garlic. But I use garlic. I use Dale sauce. You could buy this stuff on Amazon, except for the garlic. Buy it in your grocery store, Publix, Food City, Walmart, whatever. But there'll be a link down below on this video. You can get this stuff on Amazon. Dale sauce. I don't use the low sodium. I use the full thing, however much sodium's in this thing. And then of course, the liquid smoke, hickory smoke flavor. Now I'm going to smoke these ribs with hickory smoke, but this just adds a little extra kick to it. And not to say the most important thing of this is going to be apple cider vinegar. The acidic in this is going to set those things so tender. My gosh, not to mention 10 hours of sitting. So let's go ahead and cut these ribs open in this pack and add all of our seasoning in here, including the garlic, and then we'll put a lid on it. Let's get going. All right. I had to let these things thaw out for about a week. Smell that Wagyu. Oh. Now, if this was for somebody else, I'd be using gloves. But since it's just me and my wife, we're not going to worry about that. All right, well, you get a load of that for a second. Let me throw this in the garbage. All right, guys, let's get this separated. We get 2 racks stuck to each other. Let's get them separated so the seasoning can get into there. Beautiful. Take a whole jar. Apple cider vinegar. So what this vinegar does, especially the apple, it penetrates the meat, tenderizes it. So when this slow cooks, and I mean slow cook with a hickory, what's going to happen is that meat's just going to fall out the bone, just like pork, but it's Wagyu. Wagyu is a breed between Japanese cattle and Angus, so it's 50-50. They do have a full-blooded.
We do have it on
yeah, we have it on our page.
So we do some full-blooded.
Yes, we do. We do have full-blooded. But this is 50-50, so it's going to be 50 black Angus and 50 Japanese cattle. But make no mistake about it, guys. This stuff is tender, and I mean good. I should took that little spout thing off and just poured it in there real fast, but that's all right. Just give some love to you guys watching this channel. Let you savonate your taste buds and just think about these ribs.
If you like this.
Yeah, if you guys like this, make sure you subscribe, because we're gonna do a full editorial on smoking. We're gonna smoke the heck out of these things. All right, that's a full bottle of apple cider vinegar in 5 gallons of water. And this is probably 1 quart. Total 1 quart of apple cider. Now we're gonna add in the garlic. Like I said, I've got several cloves of garlic. Add this into the mix. Well, that garlic smells good. Voila. Really good. Fantastic. Now throw in some Dale sauce. Oh, it smells so good. Can you guys smell that? Mmm.
Just using a little bit.
Yeah, oh yeah. Don't pour this whole bottle in there, guys. That's just way overkill. You don't need that much in there because the apple cider vinegar and the garlic's gonna do plenty, but I just want to add a little bit of that darkness to it. Then of course, the liquid smoke. Now we're smoking these ribs, but this gives you a little extra kick, a little extra bite. And if only you guys could smell this. Take a whiff. Oh my gosh.
Are you using the whole bottle?
No, we'll use probably about maybe a quart of this. And this is the 4 ounces. We're gonna use less than an ounce of this. Because like I said, once again, we're gonna be hickory smoking this stuff anyway. So let's just add a little extra. Voila. And now, what you wanna do is make sure all your garlic and everything's flying around inside there. Let it sit. And then put a lid on this thing as soon as possible because this is gonna sit, like I said, for about 10 hours. And we want those ice packs to stay as cold as possible. We don't want that water getting hot. So there we go. That is how you marinate ribs, in particular beef ribs. You know, some people might want to put some salt in there, some sea salt, however you want to do this, it doesn't matter. This is my personal preference. This works for me. I've been doing this for years. And if you want to throw in some black pepper, some sea salt, even smoked salt, you know, oregano, parsley, but whatever you want to, you know, whatever works for you. This recipe works for us. We've been doing it for years, and it just really tenderizes the meat perfectly. And because I don't take measuring cups for the spices and the seasonings, because I've just been doing it for so long, and I want to have a bite to it, but I don't want it to be overkill. I could just marinate these for a couple hours and throw them on a smoker, but I want it to be as tender as possible. And that's why I'm doing it in the water instead of putting it in the refrigerator in big old bags, is because I want this to have the most maximum tenderize that I can get. And this is the only way that works for me. And plus these ribs are so big, you can't put them in Ziploc bags unless you come in half, and that damages the meat. So there you have it, guys. So now we're gonna shoot a video of us smoking them, but first we gotta marinate them. All right, guys, the next day, the marination's over with. It was about 10 hours that we left it in the cooler. And once again, make sure you put some ice packs in there in Ziploc bags. Stick the Ziploc bags with the ice packs, seal them up and lay them in the cooler, so that way it doesn't contaminate your ice packs. But these are the products after we marinated them. And now what we're gonna do is what they call a dry rub. And here's a spice I'm using. I'm using smoked sea salt, hickory smoked salt, and I'm using a tenderizer, rib and back. Good stuff. And then of course, can't forget stubbies for the rub. So let's get this thing going on here. There you go right there, guys. You can smell that garlic too. It smells good. So let's go ahead and get this rub going on. You don't want to be oversaturating the spice. And some people say yay or nay on the back of the ribs because of the skin, but I always do. I rub the whole rack. And this is very salty, this tenderizer, so be easy on that, because you got so much salt on there already. And we're gonna do it on the sides as well. You wanna get this whole thing rubbed. These are pretty thick ribs, so I'm not gonna really worry so much on the content. So now let's get this thing patted in there. Once again, I'm not using gloves because this is for personal consumption for me and my wife, my family. But if I was doing for public or for friends, I'd be wearing gloves. I'm really putting that stubs on there really thick. Some people might want to do a wet rub. That's fine. I prefer this right here on the sides. See, I'm getting all those sides. Definitely get all the surface you can. Pat in as good as you can, and you're going to have a lot of left over. That's fine. This is going to cook into the meat real good. A little messy. You get to clean your hands. I'm a real clean freak, so I like to pat in there really good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this one with oil up while I prep the smoker. Let this set in the meat, tenderize that meat real good. And don't get me wrong, it's tenderized from sitting in the marination for 10 hours, but so now you just want to seal it back up. Put that tenderizer and that rub soak into that meat real good. Lay it in the bowl. You know, when you're dealing with beef, it's more heartier and it's more lean than pork. But this is Wagyu, so Wagyu is going to have a lot more fat in it, just like pork, but better for you. Good old stubs, dry rub. It's always good to have some rub in the house, man, because if you're gonna be doing any kind of seasoning, especially with dry rubs, you can put as much as you want, really, the stubs, and it's just gonna cook right out in that fat. Make sure you get in the meat real good before you seal it up. Do your sides. Once again, it's gonna be a little messy. That's all right, it's part of the fun. And the back side. Tenderizer salt. rub. There we go. All right, so now we seal this one back up. You don't have to put it back in aluminum foil, guys, if you don't want to. You can stick it in the bowls, stick it on some plates, whatever. So what you want to do is, once this goes on the smoker, about 4 hours, you want to get to about 210 degrees, 220 maybe a little too much, and then you build your crust, or bark, however you want to call it. Some people call it a crust, some people call it bark. But you want to let this meat to really swell up. I mean, it's going to get hot and it's going to get crusty like a bark, and you want that. And you want the middle to be over 170 degrees. And then when you're done doing that after about 3 hours, 3 hours and 20 minutes, 3 hours 30 minutes, some people take, they call butcher's paper. I don't have any butcher's paper. Use it if you got it. I got aluminum foil. So about 30 minutes before it's done, maybe 40 minutes before it's done, take the meat off the rack, off the smoker, put it back in aluminum foil, and put it back on there for the last 30 minutes, and it'll moisten it right up. And then when you're done, and I'll show you guys when we shoot the video of this, you take it off the smoker and let it sit in a cool area for about 15-20 minutes, and you're golden. You're ready to go. And I'm talking about delicious. And this is Wagyu beef. So it's a cross between the Japanese cattle and the Black Angus. So you're gonna get 50-50. It's superb, it's great. 100% A5 would just be too much butter. But this right here is not. This is gonna be perfect. So stay tuned, guys. This is the moment here going on the smoker. Got the smoker going over here. Got my wood chunks over here. So let's go ahead and put the bones down. Make sure your bones are facing down to cook. Then we're gonna throw some chunks on here. You want to keep a water bottle out here. I'll show you in a minute. Temperature gauge is right here. We want to get this way over 210 to 220. And what we're going to do and also keep a water resource at your availability, so in case anything happens, always, you can never be too careful, never. So if you want to turn your camera around, look at that smoke. That's going to start smoking a lot here in just a few minutes. And then right here, I've got apple cider vinegar with water and Worcestershire sauce. So after about maybe an hour, I'll wet those ribs down. So this is what we're going to do for about 3 hours, 3.5 hours, and then we'll take them off, put them in foil, and put them back on the smoker, and then we'll see the byproduct. But right now, It's just a watching game, because that's what we're going to do, is we're going to watch a smoker. Always be careful. You know, you get green around you, you get trees around you, shrubs around you. Always be mindful of that. So in case anything was to happen, if one of those wood chunks spark off or whatever, shoots out a spark behind the smoker, always have that water hose behind you, ready to go. Or some form of water. So guys, be back here in a little bit. See ya. All right guys, I made a mistake earlier. I said 50-50. My bad. I actually got one full-blooded, which is the one on the right side, and the other one's 50-50. So this one's going to be the Wagyu, and this one's going to be the 100%, which we sell. You can take a look right on our page. This is the 100% right here, and this is a 50-50. I want to see the comparison, how these things look and how they cook and how they taste when they're done. But we do sell these. These are 100%, and these are 50-50. And they're already starting brown already. It looks good. It smells good too. So will be interesting to show you guys how that's going to come out between the 50-50 and the full-blooded. But I'm telling you, it's going to be good, man. Stay tuned. All right, guys. So while the meat is smoking, once again, we got 50-50, half and half, Japanese and Angus. And then we get the full-blooded that's on the smoker right now, the ribs. They're smoking, doing a great job. So we're going to make some homemade potato salad. So cut up some potatoes. Well, you want to boil them first. Or you can cut them up first and boil them. And then throw in some pickles and some eggs and some peas. And then add in your mayos. Dukes, man. That is the only way to go right there, boys and girls. There is no substitute for Dukes. It's the only one to have. Add in your mayo. You can, I mean, pretty much make it any way. You can saturate it if you want to. I like a lot of mayo. So let's see what we got here. It's okay to make a mess. No big deal. It's part of the fun. Let's see what we got. I know we're gonna need more than this, but yeah, we're gonna need a lot more. Now this is homemade, so this is not one of those store-bought flies. I think we'll put a little bit more mayonnaise in there, just a little bit more. Like I said, you never can have too much mayonnaise, especially Dukes. Dukes rock, man. The only problem with Dukes is when it's gone, you're out of Dukes.
I think that's enough.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I don't like a lot of mayo.
Yeah. Oh yeah, perfect. You can still see the density of the meat, well, the potatoes. So watch out for pesky neighbors when they want to try to get on some YouTube. They want to get famous real quick, just ignore them. So, oh yeah. And I'm gonna have to try this, guys. If only you guys could smell this. Let's see what we got. Oh. That is freaking awesome, guys. Holy stumbolis. Guys, I can have another bite. I'd give you a bite if I could. Homemade, guys. Homemade. Forget about the grocery store. This is off the chain, man. Ugh. I know you guys really want to be me right now. I know you do. I got ribs in the smoker. Make sure you like us, subscribe to us, ring the bell for the newest notification. Thanks. All right, guys. So this has been now, I'd say probably 2 hours now into this. You can see the smoker clearly is doing its job. It's smoking real good. We're going to pop the lid on this thing and see what we got as far as the meat. And also too, like I was telling you, you want to have a some sort of a moisturizer for the ribs, because the ribs will get dry. So I spray this on the ribs after about 2 hours, sometimes 2.5, 3 hours. Also the wood, if the wood gets dry, it will catch fire. You don't want that. So what I got is a water hose down here, and I'll even use this right here to wet the wood, because the wood will eventually get so hot it'll catch fire, and you don't want that. So let's pop this lid and see what we got. And I may have to soak this thing down with some water. Let's see what we got. Yeah, it's smoking real good. Yeah, the wood's getting a little hot. Let's get this thing a little wet. Let's turn these ribs over. Turn this around the other way. Oh, they're doing good, man. Yeah. You can see the fire in those charcoals. We got to eliminate that, or it will catch fire again. Be quick. And so when the fire happens, it takes away the oxygen. The wood just flames up and it's over. No more smoking. As you can tell right now, it's still smoking. You just gotta keep that wet. I've got a bucket of water right here that I saturate this wood for like 24 hours before I even throw it in the smoker. And that's right, I did say 24 hours, it's 2 days. And then I throw it on the smoker and it just smokes like you won't believe. That's hickory wood. You can use peach or apple, cherry, whatever, but I use hickory. And those ribs are cooking fantastic, guys. So we'll shoot a video after this thing right here is done, and let you guys see it. All right, guys, here we go. The meat's off the smoker, and it's been a long journey, guys. A long journey. So we let it sit in the cooler for about probably 30 minutes. We took it off the smoker, wrapped in aluminum foil like it is right here, put it in the cooler, let it sit for about 20 minutes, let it cool off, let the juices marinate a little bit. And now we're gonna cut it open and see what we got. So it looks good, smells good. Let's see what we got here, man. You know, I'm hungry. So, oh wow, it cuts so tender. Jeez. Oh, look at that. Unbelievable. So let's see what we got here, boys and girls. I'm hungry and I'm tired. That's bone right there. I don't know why it's, there we go. Let's try this. See that? See that? Here we go. Ah, oh, that's so good. Oh. You guys, unbelievable. So tender, so flavorful. I gotta stop. Come on. Oh my God. Well, there you go, guys. That is how you smoke beef ribs, Wagyu beef ribs. That's how you do it. And the reward is unbelievable. Man. Well, guys, I'm glad we went this whole journey together, because this was a lot of work. But it's rewarding, so rewarding. The food, the meat is so good. And the potato salad. Guys, I'm so thankful to have you guys watching, subscribing, and liking our channel. I'm so happy. Please subscribe and like our channel. Thank you. See ya.